New set of offenses shadow the Russia-Ukraine conflict. As winter comes to a close, Ukraine calls on Western allies for reinforcements to withstand an unexpected Russian spring offensive on Ukraine. According to military strategists, Russia could engage the Ukrainian forces in a two-front offensive from the Kherson front in the southeast and Donetsk and Kharkiv fronts in the east and northeast respectively. Earlier, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned that Russia is preparing up to 200,000 troops for the ground offensive, with possible Air Force involvement also on the cards. Ukrainian President Zelensky is currently on the second foreign tour since Russia launched hostilities in February last year. Zelensky is hoping to rally greater support from the United Kingdom and other European countries, as well as US, to thwart the threat of the spring offensive. As fighting intensifies around Bakhmut in Donetsk, Russia's offensive heavily relies on artillery and ground onslaught. It is essential for Ukraine to hold its ground since the roads passing through the area are crucial for military logistics flow to the Ukrainian forces. If the apprehensions of a two-front offensive from Russia come to a head, Bakhmut will find itself in the center of it all and will remain a strategic asset with regard to securing logistical lines. Similarly, if Russia sends its air force into the mix, cutting off supply lines might not be as difficult as it is proving in the ground offensive, where Ukrainian forces are giving Russian forces a serious challenge. The capture of the Bakhmut could be a stepping stone for Russian forces to the Ukrainian cities of Kramatorsk and Sloviansk. Recently, Ukraine came under missile attacks from Russia in the northern, southern, western, and central regions of the country. After the recent offensive in Donbas, Russia has claimed that Ukrainian forces have retreated to a distance of 3 kilometers from their previous holding lines in Luhansk. The areas of Luhansk and Donetsk regions make up the Donbas. On the other hand, Ukrainian leadership has voted to take back the regions of Crimea and Donetsk by the middle of the current year. So far, neither side seems to be willing to contain the hostilities, as NATO members and allies mull over ways to continue to support Ukraine. NATO has stressed members to replenish the supplies of munitions to Ukraine, as the country is using munitions faster than is being supplied by NATO members. The US and Germany recently approved plans to send tanks to Ukraine, after which the Ukrainian leadership issued a call for F-16 supersonic fighter jets in anticipation of this spring offensive. US and the UK have been the leading supplier of military aid to Ukraine, along with other NATO member countries. Germany has pledged to supply Ukraine with 48 tanks, mostly consisting of Leopard 2 A4 and Leopard 2 tanks. In the meanwhile, training on the newly acquired tanks and other weapon systems is underway in Estonia, but will take weeks for the platoons to gain tactical synergy essential for successful ground offensives. As the winter comes to a close, fighting is expected to intensify, and while morale seems high for the Ukrainian forces, it cannot sustain its counteroffensives without consistent support from military powers with hardware and tech that can respond to Russian forces. But with tensions on a rise in the China Seas and Western analysts forecasting a possible conflict in the area, how much are the US and its allies willing to invest in Ukraine while keeping their own forces at par for a possible two-front conflict of their own remains to be seen. I'm Usama Nizamani, and this was your Daily Dispatch.